It was a quiet Sunday morning when the sound of sirens echoed through our peaceful HOA neighborhood. I stepped outside, coffee in hand, wondering which neighbor had managed to annoy Karen this time. What I didn't expect was for those flashing red and blue lights to stop right in front of my driveway. 3 men in fake tactical vests jumped out shouting, "Sir, step away from the vehicle. You're under arrest for HOA code violations." I blinked. HOA code violations, arrest? That's when I noticed their uniforms. They had patches that said HOA police. Except there was no such thing. And unfortunately for them, I was an FBI agent on leave, living quietly until today. My wife and I had moved into this suburb for peace. The community was clean, the people were polite, and the houses were neat. At least that's what we thought. Until we met Karen, the self-appointed queen of the HOA board. She'd fine neighbors for ridiculous things, like having their trash can out 5 minutes too early, or planting non-approved flowers. She once told me, "This is my neighborhood. Everyone follows my rules." I laughed it off, until she started targeting us too. The trigger? My lawn. Apparently it was too long by HOA standards. I had been away on a work trip, so I didn't care. But Karen did, and she had a friend, a wannabe tough guy named Rick, who liked to play security guard. Little did I know, they were about to fake an arrest to scare me into compliance. When those fake HOA cops showed up at my house, I recognized 2 of them. They were Karen's friends from the board meetings. They wore black shirts with HOA police printed in white vinyl letters, carrying what looked like toy radios and cheap handcuffs. One of them barked, "You're being detained for violating Community Law Section 3A9, unmaintained property." I had to fight back a grin. They actually memorized fake laws. But when they tried to grab my arm, the humor ended. I calmly stepped back and said, "You boys better have real badges because impersonating an officer is a federal crime." They laughed. "Yeah, right. We're authorized by the HOA president herself." That's when I realized this wasn't a prank. They genuinely believed they had power. Karen stormed down the street in her pastel pink tracksuit, waving a clipboard like it was a royal decree. "Officer Rick, arrest him. He's been a menace to this community for months." She pointed at me like she was summoning the wrath of heaven. I looked at her and said coolly, "Karen, you're making a big mistake." "No," she snapped. "You made the mistake when you disrespected the HOA." Meanwhile, a small crowd had gathered, neighbors recording everything on their phones. Karen loved attention, until I quietly reached for my wallet and pulled out my real FBI credentials. I flipped open my badge and let the gold glint under the sunlight. Federal Bureau of Investigation. You're all under arrest and for impersonating law enforcement officers. Their faces went pale. Rick froze. Mid-step, Karen's clipboard fell to the ground. The HOA police suddenly looked like preschoolers caught stealing cookies. I stepped closer. "You tried to handcuff a federal agent on his own property." Silence. "Let's talk about your violations, shall we?" Within minutes, 2 real police cruisers arrived, my colleagues from the local precinct. When I called it in, dispatch thought I was joking, but when they saw the fake HOA squad standing there, they knew it was real. Karen immediately tried to lie her way out of it. "Officer, he's dangerous. He's threatening us." The cop looked at me, then back at her. "Ma'am, he's FBI." Her jaw dropped. Rick tried to bolt. The officers tackled him to the ground. The other 2 were handcuffed right in front of the neighbors they'd bullied for years. Karen screamed, "You can't do this." "I own this neighborhood." I smiled. "Not anymore, Karen. You're going to own a criminal record." After the arrests, the investigation revealed everything. Karen had been running an illegal HOA enforcement group, collecting thousands in fake fines from residents. She even had fake police lights installed in her SUV. Within a month, the HOA board was dissolved. The city repossessed their funds, and Karen faced multiple charges for fraud, harassment, and impersonation. The neighborhood finally breathed again. The fear was gone. People started having block parties. Kids played outside and no one cared if your mailbox was blue instead of Gray. Peace had returned. Karen and her HOA police. I thought power came from control, but real power comes from truth and accountability. They learned the hard way that fake authority always collapses under real justice, and for me, it was just another reminder why I joined the Bureau, to make sure people like them never win again. Subscribe to HOA Karen Diaries for more HOA justice stories, karma twists, and unbelievable real-life drama.